Members, you just heard the bill sponsor present a strike call amendment that I do have some concerns with. And so my first amendment is very much grounded in the COVID-19 crisis. My office, along with everyone's offices, have been flooded with unemployment claims. People that are struggling to get a penny into their pocket to pay for their bills, to put food on the table, and to prevent an eviction. To the point where myself and others have spent our own money to keep people housed. And the reality is that when folks even get their benefits, it's not enough to pay for those bills. We all know that the weekly benefit amount here in Florida is $275 a week. And that is one of the lowest in the country. And it's also grounded in the fact that our businesses pay some of the lowest taxes into the trust fund. What this amendment intends to do is to set a balance so that as businesses get a tax break that consumers are paying for, that the workers get something out of it as well. The amendment is very simple. It would increase the weekly benefit amount from the maximum from $275 to $375. And my intention in filing this amendment was that it was relevant because with the strike call, we are tapping into Chapter 443, which is the unemployment compensation program. Unfortunately, I have been told by staff, and I'm sure from the Rules Committee, that my amendment, this one specifically, is out of order. And in an effort to respect the process and to continue this conversation, I will withdraw this amendment, knowing that there are millions of Floridians who are counting us to do the right thing and to not just pass out tax breaks without workers getting something in return. And so with that, Mr. Chairman, I will withdraw that amendment. Thank you so much. Like any good advocate, there's always a plan B, members. So this amendment is focused on taking the dollars that are going right now, proposed going to the Unemployment Trust Fund, to go to another trust fund, one that myself and many members care about, and that is the Sadowski Affordable Housing Trust Fund. This is a trust fund that has been rated for years, that has led to a lack of access to affordable housing. If you believe in supply and demand economics, you know that there is not a supply of affordable housing, and especially even during the COVID-19 pandemic, we've seen housing prices go up while people have lost their jobs. And the fact that there is not enough affordable housing has led to constituents that, like in my district, living in hotels and motels because they can't afford rent and they can't afford to buy a home. And so putting dollars directly towards the Affordable Housing Trust Funds to boost up the trust fund, to make up for what has been vetoed over the years, and to make up for what was just vetoed by the governor in the last fiscal year, I am recommending through this amendment that instead of putting these dollars for this time frame into the Unemployment Trust Fund as a tax break for businesses, that instead we put it towards the Affordable Housing Trust Funds to ensure that we can start building more affordable housing so that your workers have a place to live and your workers have a good quality of life where they can come to the job healthy and happy and strong. And so that is the amendment, Mr. Chairman. So my first question is around why not, well, let me start with this. Businesses that did not lay off people and saw record profits in 2020, will they still also benefit from this tax break?
You're recognized.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that, Representative Clemens. What is the average amount of money that businesses pay right now into the trust fund per worker per year pre-pandemic? Would you be willing to include, as this bill proceeds, an amendment to increase the weekly benefit amount to be more reflective of the national average? With respect to the bill sponsor and my colleagues who are not defining this as a tax break, I just want to stress that the rate has already gone up. The Florida Chamber confirmed that for us. My great colleague next door just said that he saw his rate go up, which was not a good thing. But I mean, again, this is a tax break. I want to be clear. The rate has already gone up. It's March now. So this is a tax break for businesses, which candidly, I think if workers got something out of it, that would be fantastic. I mean, I care deeply about our small businesses, and which is why I asked the question to the bill sponsor, well, why not just make sure that this money is spent on those that have had the economic hardship versus everyone? Because again, the approach right now, even businesses that made record profits in 2020, who sold the most, who hired workers in in the pandemic are getting a tax break. And I think there can be a very valid argument to make that when we're talking about relief, we should focus on those that have actually experienced the hardship versus those that have benefited from this growth. To that point, one of our speakers also came and stressed how he believes in entrepreneurship, and I so appreciate that, because this is the greatest country in the world. This is the greatest state in America. But at the same time that I believe in entrepreneurship, I also believe in paying people a good salary with good benefits. And as Dr. Templin stressed, this is an insurance program. I mean, one of the best stimulus members we can give to Floridians is money in their pocket when they're going through a hardship. And there's been such great research out there too, that when folks have that money, their anxiety decreases, they're in a better place to find a new job. It's very hard to find a new job when you are stressed about paying your bills tomorrow, or where you're going to get food for your kids, or if you're going to be able to afford your hotel room tomorrow. And these are not isolated incidents. I mean, this is my caseload. My office has helped more than 21,000 Floridians across 64 counties. As I sit here, I'm getting more unemployment emails, and I'm getting evictions and looking for ways that I can pay to keep these folks housed. I'm a Band-Aid. What we need is systematic change. And if we're going to make this major shift to say we're going to tax consumers, the same consumers who are struggling to pay their bills are going to pay more now for online products, which, again, Florida is one of the last states to not do this. So I get it. And actually, one of the first meetings I had when I got elected 2 years ago, when I found out I was in Ways and Means, and I was just like, whew, I have no idea what that means. Let me connect with the staff. One of the first issues I came up with staff was the Wayfair decision. So candidly, much love and respect to my colleagues for championing this, because I have supported this issue for the last 3 years. But when I saw this strike call last night, it just misses the mark on lifting up all people. Because again, we're taking a consumer tax and we're shifting it over to just the businesses without workers really even seeing some sort of benefit out of that decision. And the reality is that this legislature has an entrepreneur spirit. Like, we have the power to do something about that, to say, if we're going to craft this grand bargain between two chambers and between businesses, then why not make sure their workers get a piece of it? The pie is getting bigger, so we have more to share. So why don't we share it? And with that, members, I'm sad to say that I will have to be down on the amendment, on the strike call. But I'm very hopeful that this conversation will open up the eyes of my colleagues and of folks who are proponents of this, to just not only put yourselves in the shoes of small businesses, which I do every day, and I've helped small businesses get PPP loans, I've helped small businesses try to get money out of their interruption insurance, I've helped small businesses try to keep their workers on staff, but also put yourselves in the shoes of the worker that loves their job at Walt Disney World, but just lost it and is 45 years old now, struggling to get back into the market. I mean, put yourself in the shoes of a single mother who is just an Uber driver and now is too scared because she's immunocompromised, so she can't do that job anymore. I mean, the fact that unemployment is also so narrow in eligibility also creates the universe where a lot of folks can't even tap into that 275. So part of that conversation should not also just be supplementing it for the businesses, but let's talk about expanding the eligibility so more of your workers can tap into these resources as well. And so with that, Chair, I thank you for the indulgence. I thank you for the opportunity to have this dialogue, and I will be voting no on the amendment, but I hope that this changes over time. Thank you.
Thank you.